Hi, everyone. So let's continue. And as we finished with the master data block for PLN, we've covered such types of master data as work centers, routings, resources, transportation lanes, locations, and so on. So now we can move to supporting the incidents for SAP PLN issues. So let's check how we usually can troubleshoot and what are the main T codes people use and therefore report issues in SAP P40. And first of all, I would like to start with such a basic KB called Enter Planning T code in P40. So when you are not familiar with PLN T codes, this can be a tricky part because apparently every T code, almost every T code in PLN has the prefix /SAP APO /. And moreover, like if that's not annoying enough, there is also such peculiarity that if we are in the landing page of SAP, if we want to launch some APO like PLN T code, we need also to enter /n and then the T code. So /n /SAP APO /some PLN T code. Let me show it to you like this. So if we are saving our favorite T codes to favorites and launching the T code from favorite list, there is no problem. There is no /n. You can just double click any T code like transportation lane and it will open. But if we are going just to add, just to type our T code like /SAP APO /TL1, will give us nothing. You see the error in the bottom. This function is not possible. That is the standard behavior. Don't think that you don't have access to some PLN T code or there is no such T code. You just need to type /n /SAP APO TL1. And in this case, it will launch with no issues. Yeah, so therefore, I strongly recommend you to save all the T codes you use rather often to favorite list. So it is much easier to launch them. Also, for example, if you already are in some PLN T code and you want to run another one with a new window, then the behavior of the system is as usual. You just type /o /SAP APO /MAT1, for example. So just unlike with any other type of T codes, when you are typing them manually from the landing page, you need to add the /n prefix in the beginning. Business users usually know about this because they are using PLN T codes for a long time, but sometimes you may receive an incident coming from a newcomer, and for example, colleagues of the newcomer didn't tell him or her how to launch the PLN T codes from landing page. In this case, you might receive even any incident that like, I don't have access to this T code, please provide me the access. In case it is PLN T code, please check that user is actually running it right from the landing page, and feel free to share this KB. But that's only the small introduction. Next, I would like to show you actually one of just several main T codes business users usually work with in PLN, and that's the RRP3 product view. So when you launch the T-code product view, first you must select the planning version. I think that we thought that before in various PLNT codes, you might have this field like planning version, active version, integration model. It basically means the same. And if you will go to advanced search in such field, like every time it will it will suggest you to use the 000 as planning version. So that's just like default setting, like default data set for PLN master data. It's called active model. So here we just select 000 as well as system suggests us. Then we need to open any product like this one, for example, like any SKU or semi-finished good or any filter. No, it doesn't matter. Usually you will receive an incident ticket for this T code where user already mentioned some material and location. But in case the material or location is not clear, uh, feel free to ask users because this information is essential for us for checking. So after we selected the planning version and product, we also need to select the plant. In this case, I am not sure for which plant the material is maintained. As we can see, it is maintained for NL03, Netherlands plant, and tier P1 production plant. So we check tier P1, for example. Okay, and there are no documents. So we'll now check another document, but just wanted to explain already at this point what is actually product view T code. It is the documents posted for this material, even the draft ones like PRs. Planning documents posted for this material in chronological order. Also, here in product view, we have usually two time fences. So the latest one, ePPDS Horizon, is the time fence after which there is no planning activities going on at all. So if you see, I am now recording it on 15th of August, and the time fence is set as 15th of February of 2023, which is exactly 18 months after today. So 18 months is the long-term planning limit set in JTI. So in the company, in PLN module, we don't plan any documents, any material, postings, transfers, stocks, anything after 18 months from today. So that's our planning limit. All planning, which is even more long-term, it is not carried out in SAP. That's the type of planning which is carried out like by headquarters, by the top level management. So they have targets, they have some goals to reach, some projects, but it is not considered in SAP, and we don't plan any particular documents. Also, we have a PPDS planning time fence, which can be set in settings of our strategy profile. I guess if we go there, let me check. So I'm pretty sure somewhere in the settings, we can check our strategy settings. Just a moment. Or is it somewhere else? Plan monitor. User settings. I can't remember exactly, but I definitely saw that in the incident tickets. This time fence can be adjusted. Just a moment, sorry. Propagation range. Probably not. Strategy. Okay, sorry guys, I'm not sure where exactly it is set, but this time period is set by planners somewhere in their strategy settings. Maybe I didn't find it because I am not actually a planner, so my access in product view is just display one. I cannot maintain any data. And all GSD members cannot as well. But this, like, this date is definitely adjustable. It also is just some number of days from today. So for now, I can see this fence as 1st of September 2021. But tomorrow it will be 2nd of September 2021, and so on. So there is some fixed amount of days starting from today, and this is the adjustable ePPDS planning time fence. So why do we need planning time fence? Because I think everything is clear with ePPDS Horizon. That's just the ultimate planning limit. But for planning time fence, it is required for purchase requisitions and planned orders, which are not the final documents. So from the P2P, you know that purchase order is not the final purchasing document. Final document is actually purchase order. And purchase requisition is just the will, like the draft document symbolizing that we decided to buy something, and we need to collect approvals, because that's why we need purchase requisitions, to collect approvals. And after all approvals are collected, we are able to create purchase order and finally buy something from supplier or another plant, so on. So purchase requisition is just the draft document. Same story is with planned orders. So if we want to manufacture some quantity of material, we need to create production order, but we cannot create production order without some preliminary document where we can confirm the production, check capacities, collect approvals, and this document is the planned order. So the thing is that all documents which are before this limit can be converted, like PRs can be converted to POs, planned orders can be converted to production orders, and so on. Documents which are between, in this case, the 1st of September and the 15th of February 2023, will exist as purchase requisitions and planned orders without conversion to final documents. And they will be automatically converted to finalized documents when the time will come, and they will be before this planning time fence. So that's a trigger for the system to convert those documents to actually firmly schedule the production or procurement of some product or material. So that's actually how it works, but of course it is um, not so illustrative without the actual documents. So let's check some other document. I don't know. For this one, PHP 5 sounds good for me. Oh, oh my God. PHP 5. Let's check. Okay, great. So you see here we have lots of documents. And also for this material, for this location, we don't have any ePPDS planning time fence. You see there is no blue line with the time fence. We only have PPDS horizon, which is the ultimate limit of planet. There is nothing of planning. There is nothing after the PPDS horizon. But we don't have PPDS planning time fence, which is also okay. Like as I said, this time fence is adjustable for planets, so they can also set up their strategy settings this way that they don't have this time fence. In this case, the documents can be theoretically converted and transferred to like firm purchase requisitions or firm production orders or purchase orders for all the period from today. You see, 16th of August. It's actually 15th. Yeah, so starting from tomorrow, for example, until the PPDS horizon. So there is no like intermediate time fence. That is also okay. So what we can generally check in product view. First, we can see that the first line will be always the stock category. Why do we see the stock in the beginning? The concept behind the whole planning process is that we only consider we only plan for the future. We don't plan for the past. So we don't need any past documents to be displayed here. We only need future documents to be displayed starting from today or from tomorrow and until the end of planning limit. So all the documents like purchase orders, sales orders, stock transfers, purchase requisitions, anything which apparently decreased or increased the stock of our material, we don't need to see those documents. We only need to know how much of this material we have available now. So that's what we see on the first line. So we know that for today, we have the stock, and our stock is 1,800 eaches of this material. That is actually not SKU, but some kind of like paper, I'm not sure, like some component. So it is not the finished good. It is some component probably required for making some SKU like cigarettes or anything like this. So by this table, we can tell that currently we have this much of stock on hand, and this is the playing unit of measure. After today or after tomorrow, we already have the documents, logistic documents for this material. Here we can see PRs, POs, demands, purchase requisitions, planned orders, production orders, all kinds of documents. And all these documents will either increase the stock of our material or decrease it. So here, for example, we have some order reservation, which means that we are reserving some quantity of material for production of this SKU. So in order to produce this amount, like this quantity, no, sorry, that's not correct, not correct. well, it's hard to take. It's hard to tell how much of this quantity we need to produce now, but we know that in order to produce some quantity of this SKU, of this finished good, uh, we will need this quantity of our material we are checking, and the production will be scheduled on 17th of August. So we are reserving this material for the production of some another SKU. And that's why the stock is actually decreasing by this amount. So you see we had like 1,800 of eaches, and then 2 days after the production of this SKU is scheduled in the system. So the stock of our material will decrease. It will go to it will be spared to produce parent material. And we will have, like, by the end of the production process, we will have only this much left, like 64 eaches. Also, we can tell that the production will take place on this same plant, PHP5, Philippines production plant. And the production will be carried out using this resource, which is MP13, make and pack 13. So it is some machine located in PHP5 plant. And it will decrease the stock of material we are checking. After that, we are planning some purchase order with this number. So this purchase order already exists in SAP P40. It is not some draft document or anything. It is a firm, solid purchase order. And here is the quantity of this purchase order. So after we buy some more of this material, we apparently have more stock. So the stock we had left after the production, plus the stock we will receive due to the purchase order, will equal this amount of stock. So this plus this equals this. So that's actually how it works. This minus this, because that's demand created for the system from the system. This minus this will equal this. And that's the direction how the quantity goes in this T code. So it looks maybe quite confusing, but when you understand the logic, when you understand the concept, the whole T code becomes quite easy to read, because we only have several major types of documents in the system. Those are planned orders, purchase orders, reservations, demands, and the two only possibilities for them is either to increase the stock or to decrease it, as I said before. So here we have the consequence of purchase orders, and they all will increase the quantity of our material. But after that, we again need this for production, but this is not the finally scheduled production. That's only the demand that was created by system automatically. Here we need to make a note about how planners actually use this product view and why do they need it. So as we were discussing on previous sessions, the input data for PPDS planning process comes from supply module. So the data flow is like from demand to supply, from supply to PPDS in SAP. So from supply, we have some kind of consensus demand, like collective demand for the plant, disaggregated to various materials. And what planners actually do, they have this general demand. They open the product view, this T code, and after that, they run the heuristic process. That's how they do it. Of course, we don't have access to perform heuristics, but planners have. So they go to interactive planning, heuristics, and then they run it from here. So again, what is the heuristic process? That is the algorithm, which is not too precise, but it considers some um, it considers some important factors as available capacities for the factory, like factory calendars, holidays, weekends, the days when production is not happening. Okay, I think now it's fine. Just a moment, I had some issues with my internet. I want to check it if I'm able to run some KBs. Okay. Uh, let's move on. So again, from the supply module, we have this consensus collective demand for the plant for some materials. And then when planners run heuristic, the algorithm takes into account some important factors like capacities, um, available stock, so on. And it creates the draft documents in the system. So this dependent demand is kind of draft document that comes from heuristic process. So probably heuristic was launched for this SKU, the finished good material, and the system considered that in order to produce some amount of this finished goods material, it will need our component with this quantity of our component, and it placed the draft document, the draft production on 14th of October. But as this is only a draft document, we might understand that the location, the time of implementation of this document can be changed later on in the system. It can be changed by planners. All the draft orders can be moved manually because they are not yet transferred to P40 system. So for now, all these documents only exist in PPDS module, which is also in P40, but is a separate data set. And only when the time of implementation of this document is finally confirmed and we check that all master data is correct, then we can convert this draft document automatically or manually. We can convert it to the firm document like production order. And in this case, when we already have production order, it means that it was transferred from PPDS to general P40 system, and we will be able to check it in P40 with a P40 T code for production order, like we will do this in F2S process. So we don't usually sometimes we have to check production orders in PLN incidents, but mostly we are working just with the product view T code. So we are not going to check the production orders often. Yeah, so that's how to basically read this T code. And also the important column we have here in this T code is called PP firmed. You see that for the first several documents like this purchase order, one more purchase order, PO memos, they have this field ticked PP firmed. It basically means that these documents are fixed in terms of time. They are fixed and they already are transferred to P40 system. So if we need to change the time of this purchase order, we will not be able to do this here in product view. We will have to open this PO in through ME23, 22, and T code and change the time in P40. Or somehow untick this field and make those documents unfirmed. Okay, yeah, so that's basically the never-ending process of planning. So every month, planners run heuristics. They receive the demands coming from supply. Then they convert demands to some draft documents with the heuristic. And then they check, they review those documents. Manually, they see if they are correctly placed or not. Maybe it is more feasible to place them in some other dates. And finally, they convert them to firm documents manually or automatically, and the documents are transferred to P40 system and are able to be checked in P40. So that's how we use product view and how planners use product view. But then you might ask, like, what are actually the incidents coming for this T code, coming for the product view? Well, usually the incidents are related to data discrepancy. Most of the times, there is some data discrepancy between the ePPDS documents and dataset which are checked in product view and P40 documents. Just an example, like some purchase requisition was deleted in P40, in ME22 and T code, it was deleted, but nevertheless, it is still reflected in product view. So you can still see it there, but it was deleted. So that is a clear data discrepancy. And planners want this document to be deleted from product view as well. Or for example, some planned order cannot be converted to production order. However, it has the conversion indicator, so the system should convert it automatically, but it doesn't happen. Why these issues are happening? Most probably because of some incorrect master data. When master data is incorrect, it causes the data inconsistency and it causes the data packs to fail. What are those data packs? Well, previously, before the go live, we had packs of data flowing back and forth from P40 to APP system and back from APP system to P40. And those data packs were called CIFs. Now, after the go live, we still have CIFs, but they are more simplified. They fail more rarely, I guess. Well, at least that was the goal of the project, one of the goals, to make CIF more simple and fail less. I guess it was accomplished in some way. So, but we still have the data flow between PPDS and the main P40 and back from the main P40 to PPDS. So still the data packs can fail due to the incorrect master data, most of all. Or maybe some data is missing, or there are incorrect strategy settings in product view. There is no like one recipe for all the issues with product view, but most of them can be checked with some magic T code called delta report. I will show it to you now. This T code is /o/SAP APO CCR. Let's launch it. Yes, so here is the main selection screen for the data report. Here we need to move straight to second tab. We also need to select partner system. It is P40. You can just go to advanced search and the system will suggest you to use P40 client 900, which is okay. Then we need to enter the material and plant. So in our case, let's enter the material we have. Then we enter the plant we want to check for. And then we need to select the type of documents we need to be checked. We need to check. So it even calls the same documents to be checked. So here you just select the suitable type. You can always select like all types of documents. Like nobody is restricting you with that. The only difference is that the more document types you select, the longer the system will load. But actually this T code is loading rather fast. So I think there will be no issues, and I usually select more types of documents, the more the better, because there is less opportunity to make a mistake if you select more document types. So the delta report T code is meant to check the data discrepancy and to check the failed data packs. So then after we selected our material, plant, partner system, and document types we need to check, we just click execute and wait for the system to load. And it will show us if there are any errors, if there are any data discrepancies in the system for our selections. Yeah, you see, of course, it takes some time to load, but it is not that long. So you can select several types at least. Okay, so we see what do we receive after we launch the T code itself. We receive a table of our document types as rows, like inspection lots, project orders, manufacturing or production orders, production campaigns, PRs, plant orders, maintenance orders, all kinds of documents we have, stock transfers, sales orders, and so on. And the only interesting column for us here is the error column. So we see there are no errors for almost all types of documents, but there are quite plenty of errors, 13 errors for purchase requisitions. So that's what can be also checked even at the point of product view. You can see there are a lot of PRs starting from 1. When the PR, purchase requisition in product view, is starting from digit 1, it means that this PR was only created in ePPDS, and for some reason it was not converted to like a real PR in P40, because the real PR in P40 for planning purposes will start with the digit 3. So PRs starting with 1 are like draft documents, which only exist here in product view. They didn't go anywhere. They stay here because they cannot be converted for some reason. If we had the PPDS planning time fence before this PR, then no questions, because if we have planning time fence, then all the documents after this planning time fence are draft ones. They are not yet converted to real documents by system, and that's okay behavior. But in this case, as I thought before, we don't have PPDS planning time fence set in the strategy settings. We only have PPDS horizon, which is 18 months. And like logically, all the documents before this PPDS horizon should be converted to like converted and transferred to P40. The PRs should be converted to real PRs and so on. But for some reason, it didn't happen. So even from the product view, if you are experienced user with product view, you can see that something is wrong because the PRs are draft. And after we run the Delta report, which shows us all errors in the system for this material, for our selection criteria, you can really see that there are 13 purchase requisitions which failed to convert. So here in the Delta report, we also have some control, and sometimes it does help. For example, we are able to push the data transfer to retrigger it. In this case, as I said, the PRs only exist in product view. They're missing in major P40 part. So what I can try to do, I can select any purchase requisition and click the button transfer send to R3. So please don't be confused because the titles of these buttons are old. As you understand, we don't have APO anymore. We have only PPDS and P40. And so APO here stands for PPDS, and R3 actually stands for S4. If you are familiar with the SAP update history, you know that our current version of SAP is called S4 HANA. And the previous big update, the previous big step in SAP versions was R3. So the T code is just quite old and it wasn't renamed. It wasn't adjusted for a long time. So please don't be confused. APO means PPDS and R3 means S4. Why the button send to PPDS is grayed out in this case? Because the documents already exist in PPDS. There are some situations when the documents are on the opposite, they are not transferred from PPDS to, from S4 to PPDS. So the data transfer failed in the opposite direction. But in our case, the documents exist in PPDS, so we cannot send them to PPDS. This makes no sense. We can only send them to S4. And also we can delete them in PPDS if we know that they are no longer required, and we can just skip them. But I don't really strongly recommend you to trigger this data reconciliation. To retrigger the transfer, use those buttons. Same as with GRC requests, we have the access, but actually it is user job to do this action in the system. So it is much better to share the KB. We have an old but gold KB for using the PPDS. I mean, using the Delta report. Yes, this KB was not updated for some time. Probably BTS won't will not allocate resources in the nearest future to update it. So I guess I will update it myself. We just need to change some names, like APO should be changed to P40 or to PPDS. These screenshots need to be changed, but generally the KB is totally valid. The meaning of it is the same. So this KB says how to run the Delta report, the same as we just discussed. And you can share this KB, this guideline with users and ask them to retrigger the data reconciliation themselves. So because it is actually their job and they should be responsible for data reconciliation, not us, not GSD. So you see that there are descriptions with the screenshot, how to use this, and so on. So what else we have in Delta report? We can check if there are any errors with data failure, data inconsistency. But we also can check the error message. However, not always this error message is meaningful and helps us to troubleshoot the issue. So here, when the PR is not transferred from PPDS to P40, most probably the issue is somewhere with the master data, but we are not totally sure where. Like we can check everything, but the system doesn't say what exactly we need to check. So this error 182, same with error 183, are the default error texts in Delta report, and they don't really mean a lot. So basically, they just say that there is some data discrepancy, like there is a document in PPDS, but there is no document in P40. Well, thanks, Captain. We knew that even before we launched this T code, so there is no new information here. In this case, the next T code, which can be very useful for us, together with the Delta report, those T codes are the best troubleshooting transactions in PPDS planning. And this T code is /o/SAP-APO CPP1. So you can launch it in a new window. And now I will show you how to use this T code. However, the customers and users, they also can and they actually should use this T code themselves. And we also have a KB, very useful one, about this T code. Let me check. Pum, pum, pum. Okay, let me open it. Oh, I guess it's this one. Yes. So this KB, handling of CIF post-processing errors instruction, tells us how to use the T code CPP1. I'm going to show you now. So feel free to share this KB with users as well, so they could do it themselves in the future. Here, when we enter this T code, we need to select the target system again, which is P40, same as with the Delta report. Then after we select the system, we need to select the location type nodes. So that's how the information will be sorted. Most, like easy to use, most convenient way is to sort by locations. Please just believe me. You can sort by products, but it will be not nearly as convenient as when you select location type. Then we execute the T code, and let's see what we have. Okay, so now the T code is loaded, and we can see that on the left, we have a big list of plants, and all those plants are divided into two sections. Well, prior to go live, the section titles were much more meaningful because, for example, for this section, you would see P40 to APP. And in the second section, you will see APP to P40. So these sections are just the flows. Like either we want to check the flow inconsistency in the direction from P40 to APP or in the opposite direction. But now, as you know, there is no APP system and all the data is actually stored in P40, but we just have the like separate data set for planning called ePPDS. But that's still inside the P40 system. So therefore, now we have this strange, confusing titles like from P40 to P40 and from P40 to ERP. But please don't be confused. That's just the two directions from P40 to PPDS and from PPDS to P40. So in our case, again, getting back for what we wanted to check why this purchase requisition was not transferred to P40, why it was not converted to a firm one. In this case, it is clear that the flow is from PPDS to P40, which is the second section. So we move to the second section and we need to find our plant, which is PHP5. You can see that there are plenty of errors in PHP5, more than 1,000 of errors. So in order to like browse and find only those errors which are interesting for us now, we need to sort, for example, by product. And then we check our product. So it is 144, 30, 946. 144. So we just move a little bit down. 144, 30, 946. Yes. So we finally found our product. And we can see here we have my username as initiator. What does it mean? It means that before I am showing you this T code now, 2 days ago on 13th of August, I already checked this Delta report and I've already tried to retrigger the data reconciliation. So I already tried to send these documents to P40, but they didn't help. Sometimes it can help. For example, in cases when there was some issue with master data, but eventually it was fixed. And after it was fixed, we just retriggered the data transfer and it went fine. But that's like the perfect situation. In the perfect world, you will just check the error, you push the button and there is no error. And that's cool. Or a user is asking to just delete the unnecessary document from PPDS. Then you just push the button delete in APO, or you advise user to push this button and the error is gone, the incident is resolved. But most of the times, the root cause of issue lies somewhere in the master data, and just pushing this button and retriggering the data transfer will not help to resolve it because the root cause is still there, it's not gone, and we need to define it. So then we use this CPP1, we find the error, then we double click anywhere on any field to drop down to the log. And then we drop down to the log and we can see what was actually the error. But in this case, the error will not be meaningful for us because you see the error here is missing authorization to create PRs type NB. This error is not the initial one. It is just like it appeared because I retriggered the data reconciliation, the data transfer, and like I, so the system thinks that I run the whole process, and it gave the error message just for me, and the main error for me is missing authorization. So first of all, system checks if I even have the access to do this action. And of course, I don't have this access because I am only a GSD member and I am not doing any actual planning activities. So I don't have access to create PRs. And we need to check this error for planner because planner has access to create PRs. So when planner will launch the data transfer, system will show the real error which stands behind the failed data transfer. So now it is just not representative because the error is only for me. But if in such case you will ask the user, the planner, to push this button in Delta report for these PRs, then you will be able to check CPP1 again and you will see the real error because it will be for the last run. Now I cannot see, I cannot check the error because I am the last person and I can't ask user to retrigger data transfer now. So let's just check for some other material, for some other like random issue. Let's double click. Okay, there is no log. Okay, so let's just click for like any other plant. I don't know, PHP 7. Why not? Some production order. Why did it fail? No luck. That's strange. I guess the log is only for the recent data runs. So you need to find something which was run recently. In this case, you will be able to see the error log. So let's check the latest error here. Yes, you see for the latest error, we are able to check the log because it's still in the system. And here the situation is much, much better. We already see the root cause, the error message, which is very meaningful, like material in storage location. This one of plant PHP 7 is not maintained. So that's bingo. That's actually the root cause of the issue. You can just double check. You can go to material master data. You can check the like F2S tabs of this material for this storage location. And you will actually confirm that this material is not maintained for storage location. And apparently, this is a production order which has this location set. So planners created a production order and they set some location FOM1 as a production location, but it is not maintained in material master data. So the system is returning us an error message that please maintain this location if you want to produce material there. So that sounds quite clear for me. I think it will sound clear for you as well. Apart from the very useful KB of using this T code for end users, we also have one more old but gold KB called most common CIF errors. So that is quite a big list of errors, but of course there are not all of them. There are much more errors than listed in this table. But for example, you can see that our error we just checked is there. So that's basically the same error, just for another material and another storage location and plant. But you can see even the solution, like what T code needs to be used to assign storage location to material in plant. This action is irreversible. So if you see some error text in CPP1 T code, but you're still not sure what needs to be done with this root cause, please check this KB. Probably the error text will be listed somewhere here in the table, and you can check the solution and confirm it with customer. So again, the combination of these two troubleshooting T codes, the CCR Delta report and CPP1 sieve post-processing records, is most of the times enough for troubleshooting the issues with data discrepancy between P40 and PPDS. So that's the combo which we use a lot. And feel free to check the KBs yourself. Feel free to ask me if you will have any questions about how to use this T code. But generally, those T codes are used for any data discrepancy between PPDS and P40. Okay, hope this is clear now. Then the next thing I wanted to show you after the Delta report and CPP1 T code. So let's check what KBs I prepared for today. Okay, the tool. Yes. Okay. Also, just wanted to mention that actually we have a lot of KBs for PLN issues in SAP. So the issues with PPDS or just with S4 P40. And not all of those KBs are updated, but almost all of them are valid. So if you will just replace APO with P40, then the KB most probably will be valid because we have all the same business process, all the same T codes, well, most of them. They were just like moved from separate system APP to our favorite P40 system we use for all other logistic and financial processes. So for example, if you receive an incident ticket like my plant order is missing some component, my plant order is missing some material like filter or paper or anything, and user doesn't know what is the reason why component is missing in plant order, because as we discussed before, plant order is the preliminary document, like a prerequisite for a production order. And in order to produce some finished good, some SKU, we need a set of components for it. All the components are contained in BOM, bill of material. So if there is a planned order, but some component from BOM is missing in it, the issue can be the incorrect dates in the BOM. So for example, the parent material is valid from like 16th of April, but the components are only valid from 26th of April. So if the production order is scheduled, like, or planned order is scheduled on like 20th of April, so before the validity of some component, then this component will not be taken into account by system and will not present in planned order. It will be missing. So probably there is also an error for PDS transfer of such material. You will see that bill of material is not valid on this date. And the solution is to contact GPS team. Oh, sorry. No. The GPS team actually cannot change the BOM. So the solution is to change the validity date in the production version. With the C223 T code, we in GSD don't have access to. So again, that's just one of the examples. We have a lot of like issue-oriented KBs for PLN SAP. So feel free to check for KBs, to check for past incidents, and most probably you will find some similar issue because we already had like hundreds and hundreds of issues with planning process in SAP. So even if you find old incident for APP system, it will probably be helpful for you because as I said, the business process itself remained almost unchanged. So don't be scared, don't be confused, don't be afraid to check the past incidents. Okay, so as we finished with a big block, Delta report and CPP1, the T codes you will use a lot. So I suggest you to add them to your favorite list. We can move to the next important T code, which was introduced only after the go live. And this T code is called Z-tool. Sorry, Z-tool. So what is actually Z-tool T code? Why do we need it? So that Z-tool is the transaction which was introduced only after the go live, and it allows planners to easily convert PPDS purchase requisitions into purchase orders in an optimal way from the loading capacity and delivery date perspective. So how do they use it? They launch the T-code ZM-Pur Z-tool. And after that, they need to select the proper selection profile. Maybe some of you support TM process, and you know that for TM, when TM planners need to enter transportation cockpit, they also need to select the profile. So they only see those documents which are relevant for them. So they don't see all the documents in the system because there are, again, hundreds and thousands of them, but they see only documents related to their market, to their flow, and so on. So the concept is exactly the same with that tool. When planner opens the T code, he or she needs to select the selection profile. You see, if I will make it a little bit bigger. you see that selection profiles are usually named as flows. So from some plant to another. Well, that's logical. It's easy to distinguish which selection profile is required. So they choose the profile, and after that, they will see the list of purchase requisitions. Again, as you can see, the purchase requisitions which need to be converted to purchase orders should start with 3. Because when they start with 3, that means that we can use the T code ME53N, and we can check them in our regular P40. So that means that master data was correct and the purchase requisition was successfully transferred from PPDS to main P40 system. Such PRs that were successfully transferred will be displayed in ZTool T code with the delivery date, material group, and some other information essential. And what planners can do, they can just drag and drop the PRs they want to convert to purchase orders and move them to the right part, to purchase requisition basket. So purchase requisition basket is like our selected documents, which will be later converted to POs. So yeah, you see the KB also says that they need to be drag and dropped. After that, you will see, like, you will have the list of documents you dropped in the right part. And then planners need to run the PO check. So that's like the final master data check before PRs are actually converted to purchase orders. As you understand, the purchase order is already the final purchasing document, so it is quite important to check and review that everything is correct, the dates are correct, the materials are correct, the units of measure, the master data, quantities, everything. Everything should be perfectly fine before we convert purchase requisition to purchase order. So when they launch check PO button, they can receive the pop-up with the error messages. So when system finally checks some data, it can find some errors which need to be eliminated. And after they are eliminated and all the adjustments were done to PRs, like material status should be correct, loading capacity should be checked, accounting and costing tabs in material master data should be checked, as well as material availability and so on. So if there are no errors or all the errors were eliminated and adjusted, then they move to PO creation. They click the create PO button, and if everything is correct, then they will receive the purchase order list created from the PRs they selected. So that means that conversion process was completed successfully, and we finally have the list of purchase orders for the PRs. Then they can drill down to any purchase order and check them in edit mode. So yes, that is how planners use ZTool T code. The important part here is how do we treat the incidents about ZTool? Well, we don't have access to ZTool ourselves, so we need to check with users if there are some issues. And also we need to understand that ZTool is generally under the P2P scope, not PLN. So the responsible team for Z-tool issues is generally BTS P2P. Not in direct procurement, of course, but BTS P2P or GSC procurement, because it is related to production materials. So if the issue is somehow on the ePPDS side, however, here it cannot be really on ePPDS side because all the PRs are already converted to and transferred to P40. If the PRs are not transferred to P40, we wouldn't be able to see them in Z-tool. But for example, if you receive the issue that PR is not visible in Z-tool, and you check that this PR starts from 1, which means that it is stuck in PPDS and it was not even transferred to S4, then the issue probably will be related to PLN. But if the PR is already in Z-tool, but somehow it is not converting to P40 to purchase order, or Z-tool T code is stuck, or there is some strange error message or ABAP error, everything, then such incident will go to BTS P2P, not to BTS PLN. In the beginning, after the go live, we already received several rejects from BTS PLN team, mentioning that Z-tool T code is managed by P2P, and from the PLN sides, the documents are fine. So please check on the P2P side. Well, so that's how we need to treat those incidents. So feel free to share this KB with users as well. However, if users are not newcomers, they probably know how to use the Z-tool T code, but still sometimes it is helpful. And also we have a KB about Z-tool profile creation, just as with selection profile in TM. When profile in Z-tool is created, users need to fill some fields and selection criteria, which will allow selection profile to filter the data for them. So they need to fill the start location, destination location, storage location, offset, order unit, lead time, everything. And based on those selection criteria set, the profile will filter the data for them and will leave only the documents they actually need to see and convert. So that's pretty small, concise KB, but sometimes it can be useful for people. Feel free to use it. Also, so we covered the Z-tool T code. Also, I would like to show you such T code as planning board. Together with the product view, this T code is widely used by factory planners, but it is only required for production. So if product view shows all the documents for material, it can be PRs, POs, production orders, stock transfers, all of them. All of logistic documents will be displayed in product view RRP3. But for the planning board, only production documents are displayed. So let me show it to you. First, I don't have it in my T codes, but I will add it now. So it is /SAP APO /CDPS 0, if I'm not mistaken. DPS variable view, I guess that's it. Yes, so the T code says access to detailed scheduling planning board. I think I will not be able to launch it now because I am not a planner. So in this selection screen, planners usually choose the profile. By default, it is SAP 001 default planning profile used in JTI. They also choose the planning version, which is always 000. Then they need to select the time period they want to display, like display start, display end. You see that by default, it is about 4.5 months or 5 months. Uh, oh, actually, it is from -2 to +3. So we will see by default the planning period starting from 2 months ago to 3 months in the future. That's how it works by default, but we can change it. Then we fill the resources, the location, if we need to filter by them, and we launch the T code. But I will not launch it now. I don't know what exact data I need to enter to have some meaningful results. So for reference, we will check some famous planner, Christoph Kesselmeyer. He often comes to us with some planning related issues. However, he is experienced planner himself, and he works with planning board a lot. So we can check his list of incident tickets. We can check ones related to planning board and see if we can retrieve some good screenshots showing us how planning board looks. So as we open some tickets, let's check. No, that's product view. That is Delta report. Also, you see, for example, that Christoph Kesselmeyer is using the old SAP theme, not Belize, but some classic one, or not classic, but some kind of old school theme. And that is a common situation for planners. So personally, I use Belize theme, as you can see. I don't like the classic one. I like the visual style of Belize theme. Okay, I have internet issues again. Okay. Um, sorry for this, guys. I had another. That's personally, I use Belize theme. I hope you are as well, because it is the latest update, the latest available theme for SAP. But you need to be ready that most of the planners, they work for already quite a long time in the company, and they are used to some classic themes, some classic interface. So please don't be scared. It is actually the same interface, just some slightly different button order or icons, but the T codes are the same. So here you can see that the incident is actually about a planning view, product view, not the planning board. So we need to check other tickets until we see planning board. Yes, that's it. So let us make it bigger. Okay, that's not the clearest screenshot, I think. Okay, that's about product view again. I think, yeah, I think that's better. Um, so when you see this scary view, either in the remote session in Bomgar or on the screenshot in the incident, please don't be scared. That's just how planning board usually looks like. So it's basically a timetable like in Microsoft project, uh, which has the resources or machines as the lines. So every line represents some particular machine in the plant, in our case, DEP1. So this is some machine, this is another machine, and so on. And on the horizontal line, we have the time period we selected. So as we saw by default, it is 1 month before today and 3 months after today. So that's our 5 month period. But of course, the uh, time set can be adjusted, and every planner has its his or her own time set selected, which is convenient. So here inside of this table, you will see the bars, which are actually the production orders or planned orders set by the system. So first they are placed by heuristic algorithm, and after the heuristic places them automatically, they can be manually reviewed and adjusted by planners. So if we will take a look on some bigger bar, because you see there is a text in every bar, but short ones do not fit too much text. And if we check the bigger bar, we can see more information. So for example, we're checking this one. We can see that this is the production order. So the first ID there is or production order or planned order. Uh, After this, we have material number. It is SKR, so material ID and material description we have here. And we also have the quantity of material which is going to be produced. So for example, here there is a big bar. We have some, I guess, planned order. We have SKR material. We have quantity, which is going to be produced, like 17,000 kilograms, so almost 18 tons of this SKR are going to be produced, and the production process will take, well, 6 days, more than 6 days. So this batch of SKR material will take 6 days to be produced on the factory DEP1 by this machine W8201. So that's actually quite simple to read this planning board. However, the issues with planning board, they can be quite different. Like the order is placed wrong by the heuristics, or the order cannot be placed manually to the right, like time set, or like the time set is incorrect. So usually the issues with planning board are related to profiles and strategy profiles of users, but there are no tools we can troubleshoot the planning board issues with. So let me check if we have any useful cases for planning board, but usually such incidents go to BTS team. So there are some KBs, for example, how to set overall profile. As I said, the most issues with planning board are related to profiles selected. So how the orders are placed by the system, uh, how to change sorting of resources, how to run optimizer. Well, not a lot of KBs for planning board, but nevertheless, feel free to check similar past incidents. Don't be scared of this big colorful table, and feel free to ask me or escalate to BTS team if you are not sure what can be the root cause of planned or production order not set correctly to the place. That's okay. Okay, so we spoke about a little about the planning board, also discussed the product view, which is the main T code for PPDS, I would say. Then we checked the Delta report, CPP1, two T codes most useful for troubleshooting issues. And I guess final topic I would like to share with you for today before we end our PLN training is the PSKU or PSKX materials. So what are those materials and why we need to learn them in our P2P training? Let's check. We have a good KB called PSKU overview. Yes, playing SKU overview it is called. So what are the playing SKUs? They are also materials maintained in MM03, so you can check the material master data in MM03 T code, but they are slightly different from our regular production materials, starting from 1.4 or like just for with digit 1. So planning SKUs, they look similar to production SKUs in materials, but they have different number range. So first of all, they start with 9, which makes it easy to distinguish them. So if you see some material in a PLN ticket and the material ID starts with 9, then it means that is the planning material, most probably the planning SKU. Mm. In this case, you already need to know several properties, several important peculiarities of planning materials. So first, their number range is different. Second, their plan-specific status is different as well. So as we checked during the material master data block, every material has plan-specific status, and usually we are working with statuses from 0.2 R&D approved to 0.5 production finished. Also, we know that status 0.3 current is the best one, which allows all the material movements, all the documents, and like it is just the green light for all the processes. Sorry, I'm quite tired. It's already a late evening. Mm. Um, so for planning SKUs, for planning materials, the plan-specific statuses are different, and they start with X. So probably you remember that for that we saw statuses such as X1, X2, and X6 in MM03. Maybe I can open some planning material and show it. Let me check. So we enter 9. Yeah, we see that in the past I already checked some playing materials. So let's try our luck with this one. We go with MRP tab. We go with the plant, ROP1, for example. And we see the description is SKU. But if we go to the more detailed description, we will see that material type is XCGT, planning, cost material finished goods. So that means that this material is a planning material. And therefore, the plant specific material status is X1, not 03 or 04. The status is X1, which means that this material is active for planning, and that's the most, like, it's the best status planning material can have. And we also have statuses X2, planning and costing active, which is okay as well, and status XX6, obsolete. If we encounter planning material with status X6 obsolete, then probably the root cause of some issues with documents for such material will be related to master data, will be related to this material status X6. Then moving back to our KB, so they have different BOM usage, but that's not the most important feature. Planning materials are required for middle to long-term planning, costing, reporting, and analysis. So what does it mean is that they are not real. So these materials are like imaginary materials, and we need them to imagine, like, if we are going to introduce a new product and we're going to produce it, we're going to use some components to produce it and so on. So how it will affect the planning of other materials? Will it overload our capacities? How much will it cost the production of this material, and so on and so forth. So it is just to imagine, just to make a plan and try to just like uh, confirm if introducing of such material in the future is feasible for the company or it is not justified and such material should be declined. So that's why we need to create planning SKUs. That's why we need to use them in the planning process in order to like develop new products and calculate the risks, calculate the costs, and so on. So also these materials are used for reporting and analysis, of course, because after we use those materials in our planning process, we need to check how much did it cost, how much of capacity and our resources this material consumed, and so on. So they act as future projections of market portfolio or new introductions, which are not created as SAP production SKUs. Yeah, so I think that that's what I was trying to say, but was struggling with picking the best words. They are mass generated in a special tool in Fiori, which is called PSKU Cockpit. it was just recently introduced. That's a new tool. So I will make a KB and I will share the materials about this tool a little bit later. For now, the materials about the PSKU cockpit were only shared with me by BTS team. So for now, I don't really know how it works, but I know that there is a tool in Fiori in PLM section, which is called PSKU cockpit and is required for mass creation of planning SKUs. So when planning SKU is created, uh, usually some already existing real production material is taken as a reference one. So we take the reference production material and we load it to this tool, change some characteristics, and create planning SKUs based on that reference material. Previously, it was done by the Wind Shuttle script. As far as I understood, Wind Shuttle scripts are not used anymore, but the PSKU cockpit are now used for this material creation. So we can also check these materials in S4, in MM03, in PPDS, in product view, or in planning board, or in some other T codes, in transportation lanes, I guess, and in BI applications for reporting purposes. The next very important feature of planning SKUs and planning materials in general, they cannot be produced, purchased, or sold actually, and they will not have any real inventory of movements because these materials do not exist. They do not physically exist. They are just the phantoms. Phantoms we need to consider. So no conversion of planned orders to production orders. The PRs cannot be firm. Standard cost cannot be released, and so on. Sales orders cannot be saved. So the only possible types of documents for these materials are planning ones, like the draft ones. There are no real material movement documents for this type of materials. And also, what is important, that they are not part of the PLM or R&D GPS production process, unlike the marketing or regular production materials. As you might know, if you support F2S, or you just heard that our regular production materials like SKUs, finished goods, they are created, developed, and maintained by R&D GPS team. But that's not the case with planning SKUs. So planning SKUs are usually created under BTS PLN scope, and they are not related to R&D GPS. So again, how we can identify planning materials? Number range starts from 9. Material type starts from X. Planned material status starts from X as well. And BOM usage is 6, but that's not the most obvious indicator. So please feel free to check this KB. Recently, we received several incidents for planning SKUs, specifications, or creation process, or PSKU cockpit. And generally, with our level of expertise, we are not able to resolve those issues ourselves. So we have to escalate them to BTS team. But there is a question, which BTS team we should escalate such incidents to. Recently, I've made a post in in SAP PLN channel. Please check it. The post was related to P planning materials like PSKUs, PSKEs, and so on. Sorry. So here in this post, I provided the most important information extract from the KBs. So we have several KBs for planning materials. And also I wrote some comments about the escalation process. So if the issue is related to costing or accounting tabs, please escalate the issue to R2R team like BTS, R2R, GSCF. If the issue is related to basic material tabs like basic data 1 or 2 or classification tabs, then such issue should be escalated to BTS PLN because PLN team is responsible for initial creation of planning materials. However, if the issues are related to other material tabs like AMR P tabs, like plant storage tabs, and so on, they are probably managed by inventory management BTS team. You see, for material extension and specification issues, escalate to BTS inventory management team with F2S configuration item SAP S4 material management and business service level 2 planning materials. Because in this case, the issue is probably related to ZM view F2S T code used to extend the material master data to other tabs. So costing tabs are under R2R scope. Initial tabs like basic data and classification are under PLN scope, and all other tabs are maintained through ZMView T code and are related to F2S scope. So please escalate such issues to BTS inventory management team. Well, I guess that's all. So we are in time. We checked the main T codes. We checked the master data, discussed the Delta report, CPP1. Yes, so in this case, that's all. I will stop sharing my screen. Again, sometimes I just do not have enough time to react fast, but please feel free to refer to me in case of any PLN issues you are not able to resolve yourself. I will try to check them as soon as possible. And also BTS team is quite friendly and responsive. So if we have some doubts about any issue and we are not sure if we should escalate this to BTS or not, we can always contact any of BTS PLN team members in Teams or by email and wait for some expert opinion. They're quite cool guys, so feel free to refer to them as well. So that's all for now. That was our PLN training. It is not perfect, but it's what we have at the moment. I will stop sharing my screen and I wish you guys good luck in operation and smooth shifts. Bye-bye.